Complicating the rescue and relief effort in Myanmar is the fact that the country is in the throes of a civil war, with the junta accused of directing aid towards areas held by the military and preventing international access to some parts of the country. Well, I'm joined by two guests. Toi Toi Tin is a member of the Burmese community in Perth and an associate professor of international business at Curtin University. And David Matheson is an independent analyst on Myanmar and joins us from Chiang Mai in Thailand. Now, Toi Toi, if we could start with you. You've been in contact with people who've been directly impacted by the quake. What are some of the stories that you're hearing?
The stories are heart-wrenching. It's devastating stories, ranging from not enough food, clean water, fear of another earthquake attack, so the camping out on the streets, security issue, the heat, all of that. And so they're, wondering where is the help? And also recovering the, people who have deceased and, the bodies now are rotting and the smell of death and yes, there's a devastation all around.
It really is such a difficult situation. Aid deliveries are reportedly being hindered by the junta themselves. What are we hearing, David?
Well, we're hearing that there's quite a huge international effort to send search and rescue teams in from a dozen countries, about 2,000 rescue workers from Singapore and Russia and India and many others. And there is a lot of aid getting into Myanmar, and I think a lot of that international effort is quite welcome. But what we're seeing is the military doing what they have done for years and years, which is obstructing access and obstructing delivery of humanitarian assistance, because it sees a security imperative as far more important than actually helping the people of Myanmar.
Well, as you've both alluded to, what's complicating matters is the fact that the fighting between the military and rebel groups continues in the aftermath of this deadly quake, and the junta have come under heavy criticism for this. Can you tell us, Toi Toi, where is this fighting occurring and what are the people saying? Do they trust any temporary ceasefire that's being promised?
Well, the ceasefire has been promised and the opposition side declared, they followed, but the military, the junta, has not followed through until Wednesday. So a few days after the quake, even on the day of the quake, the bombing continued and also continued in the areas affected by the earthquake.
And there are concerns that this aid money is being siphoned by the junta and that international NGOs have to work with the junta if they want access. What role can civil society and diaspora groups play here, do you think? Toi Toi, if we can start with you.
A lot that the diaspora group, the civil society groups outside Myanmar can play, and they are playing. Immediately go into fundraising mode. At the grassroots level, whatever people can do, on social media, lots of chats group, lots of fundraising has set up, and people are generously, again, donating to these grassroots local groups, set up by ordinary people, students, activists. Those channels are much better because they're direct, they're immediate, they know where these people on the ground troops, and rather than going through these big international, well-known charities, NGOs, because of sheer visibility of these big international groups, they'll be more compelled to go through the military control channels. And you know what will happen, right? The military channel to people who they want receive the aid.
Further to the point of military leader Min Aung Hlaing, David, in your view, is he using this tragedy to change the narrative on Myanmar?
He absolutely is. And he's been doing it from day one. You saw that initial response on the day of the earthquake where he appealed for international assistance. That was initially a quite positive move, but then we've seen since that he's actually milking the international attention and basically prioritizing security over actually helping people in Sagaing, where the epicenter was, and in Mandalay, where it's been incredibly badly struck, but also in the military capital of Naypyidaw, where there's a lot of civil servants who are now homeless and have been very badly affected by the earthquake. And in the midst of all of this and getting all of this international attention and 2,000 rescue workers coming from all of these different countries and all of this money coming in, he decides to go to a regional meeting in Bangkok yesterday. So I think that underscores as well as anything just how callous this man is and how reviled throughout Myanmar he really is. He's basically using this tragedy for his own ends and to try and solidify his rule.
So is it all making the military junta's position weaker or stronger, do you think?
I would say definitely weaker. I think it was weak before the earthquake. And I think since, a lot of people are like, where's the help coming from? We're getting rescue workers from India and Singapore coming in, but where's the military? And also, who's actually helping us? It's local aid groups that are actually helping people in Sagaing and in Mandalay and in Naypyidaw, and it's not the military. And every natural disaster, the same thing happens. The military just tries to milk it for its own ends, and the people don't buy it.
And
I've been seeing on the social media about how people are protesting against these images of General Min Aung Hlaing handshaking with whoever comes in, even including foreign pilots that distributing aid. He is milking, as David said, every opportunity for handshake, for this letting the people inside the country and the world know that he is still legitimate. People are still coming to see him. So this is the, it shows a really example of how legitimacy crave, how attention crave the junta leader is. And people are really discussing so much, protests against it in Bangkok, taking the streets, protesting, yelling how he should not be accepted and receive this sort of invitation. And the message is clear, sending him to go home, go back, don't come to international sphere.
And when we look at the international response, China has had a role to play as well with regards to the rescue and recovery efforts. Toi Toi?
Yes. Well, China's contribution is more immediate and a lot bigger compared to its rival United States. So since the U.S. aid and humanitarian assistance cut, since the Trump administration came in, U.S. has been on the sidelines. It is a lot of space has opened up for China, and China has contributed a lot more than $2 million that Trump administration has committed so far.
Well, David and Toi Toi, we really appreciate both your thoughts and spending time with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.